Hello class, this is Dave Norman checking in with you here at the end of Unit 1. I've had the opportunity to look at most of your threads and have posted on just about everybody. I might have missed one, but I think I've gotten everybody already. I just wanted to take a few moments here at the end of the week to just highlight a few things, bring them to your attention, maybe give you a few tips that'll help you as we move on, not only in this course, but with your academic career. And from your post, the most important thing in just about everybody's mind is the need to find a place or an environment to do your work and your reading. For some, that's a house that's quiet at the end of the day because the children have gone to bed, so the hours between 9 or 10 at night and 1 in the morning, sometimes 2 in the morning, will be your most productive times. So if that means earlier in the day you need to take a nap, like when you get home from work or something like that, then so be it. Take the nap. Take a 20-minute, 30-minute nap, sometimes an hour if you can squeeze it in, because you're going to have a late night, and those late nights will be productive for you. So if something's got to give, then let the napping be the thing that helps you succeed. For some of you, it's not a quiet place, it's a busy place that you're looking for. So for example, a McDonald's or a Starbucks that you can just put some headphones in and get to work using their free Wi-Fi. So whatever you need to do it. You're going to become a pro at the end, by the time your academic program is over, at finding places that you can focus on. For some that are in cities, the subway ride is an excellent opportunity to hammer out some serious work, because you're able to focus and tune things out. So a lot of great comments throughout the week on finding a hiding place. So good for you all. I do just want to take a moment, since I've mentioned children. Many of you have children or are in marriages and such, and you need to prioritize, family over work, over any volunteering that you do, and your homework. And so I just want to put a plug in for the C grade. This might be abnormal from what other instructors might tell you, but I personally don't think that A and a perfect 4.0 on a transcript is all that in a bag of chips. If you need to be a good parent and take the B, then take the B. If you need to be with your kid, or life throws you a wrench, take the C, and it's okay. You'll move on. The way you can know how important that is to you is decide, are you moving on to graduate school or not? Because the graduate school that you're looking to get into might have a minimum GPA requirement, and maybe the job that you're looking to have, maybe when you get out of the military, is going to require a certain GPA. Check that out now by looking at job boards and things like that. But it's okay if you get a B, and it's okay if you get a C, and heaven forbid you get a D on something, as long as you're staying above the minimum to graduate or to get through the course. So be it. But lighten up. A grade isn't everything. Sometimes you need to take some time for your kid, and that's going to result in a lesser grade on the paper. But do what you need to do. Okay, so just wanted to give you that permission right now to take the lower grade, to have a life. It's okay. Of course, we want to see you graduate. All right, moving on. Just want to, for some of you learners out there that have a little bit more, I should say a little less attention span when it comes to actually reading printed things, or if reading electronically gets old to you, you might consider, if possible, a different kind of device, maybe a Kindle that has no backlight on it. Some of the versions of the Kindle are just electrified ink, and so they don't hurt your eyes to read for long periods of time. But one of the advantages with the electronic books that we're able to use is that when you highlight, the software that's running the book is able to record that you highlighted, and it'll take the notes for you. So that's a very beneficial thing. Of course, not all of your textbooks will have that ability, but if you have it, use it, because it'll make a great file for you, and then you can just print your notes in many cases, especially the Kindle. But not all of your books are going to be on the Kindle, and depending on what program you're in, maybe no books will be on the Kindle. But there's some options for you that way. But also for those that have a difficult time reading, audiobooks. If you have the ability to get an audio version, or if your Kindle will read the audio version for you, I understand Kindle has an arrangement with audible.com that you can get some books that are both Kindle and audiobooks, and you'll stop reading at one chapter, get in the car and listen to another 3 chapters on the way to work, and then you can pick up your Kindle at your lunch break and pick up where the audiobook left off. Do what you need to do to be able to absorb the material. And again, it depends on which program you're in as to whether you'll have that available to you much. But if audio is the way you need to go, then audio is the way you need to go. I can't remember in the last year, it was the last time I actually sat down to read a book, although I've been through several audio books because I drive a lot, especially with the consulting business. I have to travel 4 or 5 hours at a time, and I'm able to knock out quite a few books and keep myself fresh that way. So just use the alternatives that are available to you. I was mentioning the digital highlighting with the ebooks, but if you happen to have an opportunity to use a printed material, I did want to show you my favorite tool for that. This is a Post-it Flag-It highlighter, and a simple system. It's got the highlighting on one side, and it's got the little Post-it flags on the other. Just heads up to anybody with a toddler, they love these things, and so they can go through your entire supply of flags real quickly. But the point of the highlighter pen and flag highlighter is that you have the ability to, every time you highlight, put a flag on the side of the page, and then that way you can find all your highlighting. And then if there's something really important, or you think it's very important that you remember that, you can just flag the top of the page, and that's a little system you can use to find that quickly. I believe in creating your own version of Cliff Notes with highlighting, okay? And that way you don't have to use memory to remember where you found something in a page. Everything you when you read the book through the first time, everything you thought was important enough to highlight, you've got it flagged, and you can easily flag that. So a 600-page book can quickly become a 75-page book because you have a flag next to everything that you've highlighted. So there's just a concept for that. One other thing I want to give you on reading is that most of the books, now I'll qualify this statement with regard to textbooks, okay, but most books that an average human being writes, if it's an individual author, really only has about 30% of actual content. The publisher, in order to sell the book and make it look or justify a price, has the author fluff it to the tune of about 70%. So there's really only 30% worth reading in a book. And that's why this week is so important, is because it teaches you just to find that 30% and learn that 30%, because the 70% is just sales gimmick. All right, and so when you're looking over those table of contents and you're looking at the book, what does the title say? The author spent a lot of time hashing it out with friends and with the publisher to find the right title. Okay, so you know what the book is about. Then go to the contents and find, what do you think is most intriguing? Chances are, if it's most intriguing to you, it's most intriguing to the author, and his or her best material is going to be in those chapters. Okay, so just learn to discern what of the book is actually worth reading. And really, in most cases, there's only 30% of the material that's worth reading. So for those of you that are just dedicated to reading word for word every single book that you get, you're really wasting your time, and you're buying a sales gimmick. So find that 30% that's actually actionable, learnable material that the author got famous for, and move on. Just discard the other 70%. And that's, again, why I'm a big believer in the flag pen highlighter, because you can just find that 30%, highlight it, and then for the rest of your career, when you're referring back to those books, you're only looking at the stuff that was worth reading anyway. And I can tell you, as one who's moved quite a bit, many of you are in the military and know what I'm talking about with moving, you don't want to have a whole treasure trove of books, because they get very heavy and very expensive to move, and they take an awful lot of time and space in your house. So boil it down to the stuff that you're actually going to use, and hopefully the rest is on Kindle or digitized in some kind of way that it doesn't take a 70-pound box to to move it 3 times over the next 5 years. So anyway, there you go. Let's see, I think I've gone over there. Okay, just a couple more things. A little trick on your computer, if you didn't know about this, is the Control-Alt Print Screen command. So hold the Control key down, hold simultaneously the Alt key down, and then click Print Screen. And what that will do for you, it's not going to print the screen, but it will capture an image, a high resolution image of what's on the screen. And you can paste that. It's like you copied it. You can put it in a Word document and hit paste, and it will paste that screenshot. So that's just a little trick. If you're, reading something online or see something in a book, and maybe the highlight feature is not available to you, well, you can just make a screenshot with that Control-Alt Print Screen command, and there you go. You have it for your notes. So just a little heads up there. And finally, I want you to make sure that you've read the syllabus and that you read rubrics before you do assignments. And the reason being is because rubrics oftentimes will tell you, and so will the assignment instructions, what the instructor is looking for and how you can maximize your grade. So personally, when I write a paper and there's a rubric for the written assignment, I will use the rubric as my template. So if the rubric says to use a certain number of sources, or if the rubric says emphasize this or that, that's how I structure my paper, is to follow the assignment instructions with the rubric right there in my face, so that whenever it's graded, it's just the items of the rubric that are important to the instructor are the things that are highlighted and emphasized in my paper. And that's just a principle in your professions. Don't give people what they didn't ask for. It's great if I go to Taco Bell and I order a Nacho Supreme, but if they give me a gordita, I'm going to be a little upset. I didn't ask for a gordita, I asked for a Nacho Supreme. And so having, deliver to the customer what the customer is asking for and what they paid for. So with your instructors, if they asked for certain things in the assignment, make sure you're following that. I had one class where the assignment was actually about an issue going on in the NFL, and one of the learners turned in a paper on breastfeeding. Don't know why, but it wasn't what I asked for, and his grade suffered for it. So anyway, be aware of the syllabus, be aware of the rubric and those assignment instructions before you start typing, and before you start forming in your mind what you're going to say. Have that be your guide. All right, well, I think that I can't think of anything else to share with you. If you've got any questions, by all means, shoot me an email or post in the question forum. And have a great weekend.